Hello and welcome to episode 7 of our Timberborn Update 6 Waterbeavers playthrough here in Cycle 7 Day 15. Half a day left until we have another drought coming in. But we're on normal mode, so max is going to be as 9 days. Not nearly as severe as the other playthroughs we're dealing with. But that's okay, because Waterbeavers is already incredibly hard as it is. So, a lot of you guys, last episode, left some really insightful comments. And I'm going to go right off the bat and just put some stairs right here. So the beavers can get up to this side without having to worry about all sorts of other nonsense. And we don't have to worry about cutting all of these things out quite yet. But yeah, that was something that honestly had completely slipped my mind. So, appreciate you guys keeping me honest there. Also, it was revealed to me that, you know, we can just put paths, you know, underneath the brambles. It's not something we were able to do before, so, you know, think about the context of the actions I'm doing here and how many hours we spent in the Update 5 playthrough and the Update 4 playthrough, where none of that was possible. But we're good. That's taken care of. They will build this at a time of their choosing, which hopefully will be very soon. And then we'll have access to this other mushroom grower, among other stuff like additional trees and additional scrap metal. And we'll be able to get over in this area, and if we feel like doing so, build a dam here that will make it possible for us to start growing stuff like rice. I don't think we're going to really, going to have the range to get these guys into rice growing. At least not right here. But we're making steps. We're making stuff work. Last episode we also, I'm not going to say fixed our food problem entirely, but we have made tremendous strides in doing so. We have 1,400 food stored. 1,000 of it is braised cabbage, thanks to our lovely hand of soup. And things are continuing to progress. The library is going to get moved to lower, but not lowest, priority. So we can continue making science, because we do have to make some advances. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff we can take care of as well as we continue moving right along. Other stuff that needs to be addressed. Well, we do have the 2-story watertight lodge. That's going to keep this from getting infected with bad water or, you know, drying out. But that's not going to be a great long-term solution. We do need to slowly, and I mean slowly, work our way toward the floodgate dam. But that's very, very, very far away. Just know that it's on my mind. That is literally the only way to do it with the Waterbeavers, without just building and deleting and rebuilding and redeleting stuff that is in these little passageways here. But seeing how we have 1,100 water stored, I'm going to say that we probably don't need to still have these guys pumping here, so at least during a drought. So let's get this on triple speed. I will deprioritize these as workplaces for right now. Obviously they're still going to be doing a little bit of working here, but we want them to be focusing on some other stuff. We have a 5-day drought, not a big deal at all. Shouldn't be too terrible of something to deal with, and we can continue working on other stuff we were saying we're going to do, like, for example, building the 3rd primitive mine right here, continuing to get rid of the brambles we don't want to keep around. We do want to keep some, because we do have to keep harvesting them to make all sorts of fun stuff like the kimchi and other things we haven't gotten to yet. But we really want to have access to as much of this space as we can, and other fun stuff like that. So, taking a look at the rest of the map here, we do have access to this area. We haven't really done anything with it. Haven't really made tremendously good use of most of this. But what we have done is we've set ourselves up pretty well for, you know, not being able to have access to the rudimentary sawmill during the drought because it doesn't have any power going to it. We have 219 of these planks. That's good. But unlike vanilla Timberborn, to make gears, you don't have to have, you know, just a building that takes it out of here and turns those planks into gears. It's a separate building entirely that has to be unlocked in a different part of the tech tree. So, you know, we have all of this stuff. You go over into science, and we have the mechanics lodge, which takes 2 planks and 2 logs, instead of just 1 plank by itself, to make 1 gear. And that takes 100 science. We could unlock it right now if we really felt like it. But we have to first figure out what we're going to use gears for. There's also these blueprints. You take a look here. We have mechanical drill blueprints. We have beaver washing machine. We know how much fun that one is. Large water wheels. Very useful to have. Floodgate dams, which, again, I said we had to have the blueprint for that to make it work. So honestly, with this map, this playthrough, I probably am going to try to focus on that first. But there's still other stuff we're going to have to do. And this last one is the ENS, which of course is going to be one of our major goals as well. So the ENS also has a lot of this other stuff we have to do, and all the stuff that you make with the ENS requires all the other stuff. Again, it's Waterbeavers. It's incredibly hard. It's supposed to be that way, and that's just how it is. But if we take a look again at the recipe for this, we need to have 20 gears, so we do have to have the Mechanics Lodge. We have to have 100 tar, which means we have to have the Alchemist. And then we have metal fasteners. We don't have 60, but they're very easy to make. And then the rest of this is fine. So, today, if we can make this work, I would like to make as much progress toward getting the floodgate dam at least accessible as we possibly can. Because again, it's going to be absolutely vital with how this map is laid out. All of the water basically comes right here in the center, and we're going to need to have a way to at least block some of it. And I think it would probably be easiest to put one up here to at least keep this area kind of clean and force everything else that way. So, like I said, all these other jobs. The Alchemist is how we make tar. And then the distillery has all sorts of other fun stuff. But let's go ahead and start working on the Alchemist, because tar is also useful for other things like our medium tank, which we talked about before. And I think that's going to be the smart thing to go ahead and do. So, Alchemist unlocked with our 100 science. Everything else that we need to build this we already have, including the clay, which is good because there's no more water, at least not for another 4.5 days. And we have the laboratory glassware that's been sitting patiently since the very first episode when we got rid of the broken cart. Alright, so, Alchemist unlocked. Again, this is a house. It's Waterbeavers. Everything is a house. I'm going to hide the UI so I can actually see. And again, hiding stuff in different spots in Waterbeavers is kind of part of the fun, part of the challenge of the game. So I'm just going to put this right here. I'm going to set this to tar, which is a liquid and must be stored in a tank. And we have an opportunity to use pit tanks. So I'll make this one for tar just because we have to have somewhere for that to go. Get him plenty of things to build. Go ahead and get this connected with a path, so those are working. This is set on turtle mode for slow mushroom growth, which just requires 3 logs and 20 pieces of wood. There I go again. To make 40 mushrooms eventually. We got this one on fast mode, but there's nobody working here, but that's okay because we have haulers that can take care of that stuff. You guys wanted me to make sure that these were all deprioritized, so there you go. They're all deprioritized. But we're making all 3 types of recipes, and we have 2 now that this one's open on the slow recipe. So we're slowly making progress toward getting our food situation a lot better off. Plenty to be happy with there. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, we're looking good on that, looking good on that. Science has to continue for us to be able to do the rest of this stuff. Remember, we do have to unlock the Mechanics Lodge, which also requires tools, which thankfully we do have. Paper is the next obstacle for the Mechanics Lodge, and that is something that has to be made in, well, early on, the primitive paper mill, which is a very simple thing to build, and it takes sawdust, the pine resin, water, and a little bit of log, 5 hours to make a single sheet of paper. And it is unlocked by default. We should go ahead and build it. We have the medium cauldron. We had that from basically the beginning. So just find ourselves a convenient, non-used spot. Well, I guess I don't really need to be that paranoid about space usage here. So I'm just going to pick a spot, and I suppose here is probably fine. We're going to get the layout stuff cleaned up slowly over time. It's just one of those things. You already know. I don't even have to say it. But they're going to get to work on that. Reminder that just because this says there are 6 vacancies does not mean we're in a bad spot, because we have flexibility. We can pull beavers out of other stuff, and so on and so forth. I have minimized the pumps in here so we can keep this filled up. And obviously there's no more pumping that can happen outside of that anyway, and there's nothing attached to this side, which is, well, I guess it's fine. Another thing we probably should do if we have the ability to, is go ahead and dam this up, even if it keeps some of the bad water in place a little bit more than we'd like. It's going to be beneficial to have irrigation here, and before too long, hopefully, I'm not going to say today and I'm not going to say next episode, but I'm really going to try my best to get us that floodgate dam as early as possible. Going to make it so much easier. Put this back on triple speed again. Try to make a little bit more progress. They're still building all this stuff. You know how it goes. I guess probably going to have 4 beavers here in the district center to take care of all that stuff. Are there any more of these brambles that are going to be able to go away as a result of all of this because they're not going to be spreading, I suppose? And go ahead and try to take care of a decent portion of these. Let them take care of that. We don't need to have these piles here. This is just kind of bramble control, which, you know, is what it is. But I don't think I'm going to have to mark those. We're going to have to wait till we have a lot more builders to try and completely eradicate the brambles by, you know, demolishing or cutting down or whatever. Just got to do what we got to do. We are making tar. Almost. Oh, you know what I forgot? You know what I forgot in my infinite wisdom? I forgot about... Where is that building? The screw press, which, of course, does have to have sunflower oil. Alright, well, new goal unlocked. Sheesh. Sunflowers. We already planted a bunch here, and I did say this is what we're going to put there. So that's fine. We need them to not eat the sunflowers, which, you know, good luck with that. But I've got space. If this reaches... Yeah, okay. This is what we'd done before, and I just kind of forgot about it. And I said we're going to have all this other stuff here, but I'm going to have sunflowers, because, obviously, we need to have those. We need to unlock the screw press. Then we need to use the screw press, and the screw press requires power, which means I know, like, from a planning perspective, if you're used to vanilla Timberborn, you're probably ripping your hair out. Why are you having everything so far apart? Look, it's complicated. But we're going to get through it. It's going to be okay. For right now, because this is where the power is, we have to put stuff where the power is, or we have to have another place that we can generate power in. And remember, right now, all we have, without more science, is the crappy water wheel that has to be able to be turned. And we are going to have, we take a look under here, we are going to be able to have water flowing through this area. I'm not entirely sure that it's going to be a great way to generate power, but it is going to be flowing out this way. We obviously know because that fills up. So let's take a look at the design of the building here. The entrance is on the bottom, so you know we don't want to have this down in here unless we're comfortable with the beavers getting just absolutely eviscerated by bad water, which I personally do not think is a smart thing to do. So what I'm going to do to try and improve our situation here, put in another lumberjack flag and start cutting these trees down. And then I suppose we might as well start trying to generate some other power over here. It doesn't have to be a lot. It only needs 50 for maximum efficiency. We're not going to get 50 with how this is set up currently, unless we can build 2 of these during a drought or more. You take a look here. We have a width of 4. I guess this is technically 3. And then in between here and here, I obviously can't build. But if I were to put a wheel here and a wheel here, I think we might actually make some decent power. You take a look at the screw press. Again, Waterbeavers, you have to attach the power in a specific place. And in this building, it is the lower right-hand corner. You can see right there. I can't move my mouse to show you because the building moves with it. But so on and so forth. We're going to get these trees removed. We'll get all that connected. It should not be a very difficult thing to do at all. Remember, it's update 6, so we don't have adaptive power shafts. That's just what we are working with. Let's, 2.8 days. Give them an opportunity to get down in here before the bad water gets terrible. Build those wheels. Now, we do still have to have 50 science to get this stuff unlocked, but we do what we can with what we have at the time that we can do it. These guys are injured. This is still working, fortunately. It will be drying up probably very soon, but that is okay. If we had a little bit more science, I would really love to get these medical beds unlocked, but the technology advancement, I think, is going to be a little bit more important. Just going to have to, you know, exercise our patience here. Okay, these green peas are being replaced immediately. Yeah, that's just what it is. Regarding that, I guess this is a good time to acknowledge that I did kind of misinterpret how this... Oh, look at all this. This was set up. These were removed. The green peas and a couple other things, including cabbages, you'll notice. Just raw cabbages, were removed from the nutrition buffs because they're not like a premium type food. So that has been made clear to me. We understand that now. But for right now, we just have to do what we have to do. Let's get this sped up. They're working on this. I'm going to increase the day length to 18 hours. Probably should have done that already anyway, but you know how it goes. These guys are continuing work. It looks like the mushrooms can't quite keep up. So we'll keep an eye on that. We did start making more mushrooms here, which seems to be doing okay. Yeah, see, this guy was still pumping, which I guess is what it is. We don't want to be completely without water, so I can't be too upset about that. But that's looking fine. We do want to, well, rather, we're going to have to get rid of this two-story watertight lodge here before the water comes back. We can't forget about that. We're going to have to replace it with something else. And I guess we probably are going to want to take care of some other stuff. I guess the pines here could probably also have some buddies planted there. Obviously, they can't grow yet, but we will still have the opportunity to make good use of the space. Blueberries are probably going to be fine. How are we doing here? Okay, that one's pretty close. Got to get rid of all of these. I suppose in terms of cutting things down, I need to have them focus mostly on these trees that are right here, because this is where I'm going to try to put this building in this spot. Exactly so. Just let them do that. Shouldn't be that big of a deal. Just need to get that finished and get these guys out of here. Yeah, I'm not going to open up this bad water bucketing... Oh, wait, this guy is still trying to go to work. Alright, well, we can have him come down here, because we do still need to be making these little mushrooms here for our library, which soon-ish will give us our 50 science, and we'll be looking pretty good. Now, I say that a lot. The screw press requires these screw press axles, which currently can only be made in the log gnawing station, and it takes 7 days with the amount of beavers we currently have. I should have done this earlier. I didn't. Sorry. Got a lot to think about. But this is ready to go now. I'm going to take this out of triple speed because I tend to miss stuff. We'll go ahead, get this set up here. I will put a... Oh, I can't unlock the four-way, can I? Alright, well, for now I will do this in case I want to put more water wheels here in the future. But for right now, this is just going to be what it's going to be. That's looking fine. This lumberjack flag no longer has anything to do, so that'll get us a beaver back. Still working on this. It looks like we've actually got rid of enough stuff. We have our 52 science, so I'm going to get that done. They can get around this, and... Oh, I forgot that one had to be cut down. Alright, well, let's take care of that. Things are still looking pretty okay. We got this designated for tree planting. Again, the beaver injuries are going to be dealt with at a time, but that time is not now. I need to have another nice bit of housing. These liquid storage houses, early game, seem to be a pretty smart move. Pretty good thing. I don't necessarily want to add additional beaver housing, but I do have to have somewhere for these 6 beavers to go. And it's also possible we might have to build this again. So, you know how it goes. Again, everything is a house. Kind of complicates some stuff, but you do what you can do. I'm going to go ahead and build a permanent liquid storage house. And the cool thing about how, you know, the watertight housing works is that these guys can basically go wherever, and it isn't an issue. So because of how this is set up, I can put a liquid storage house right here. Actually, if I moved it that way, that might actually be better. Put that there, and then that can start to be some sort of a dam here, depending on how we wanted to work on it. But no, get that out of there. Need to have this set for water. Going to be nice and convenient to have that. Looks like this is just about done. Just need a couple more logs. Thankfully, we did have the gears to build one of these. In fact, I don't see any more gears. I don't need them to build a screw press. That's fine. I am going to need them to build, or I'm going to need to make them with the mechanics lodge that I can't do unless I have paper. The paper thing is papering, but it doesn't have any pine resin because we blasted through all the pine resin. Which is, again, part of the reason why we're planting some more of these pine trees. This already has a tapper's flag. These trees, okay, they're not very close, are they? Okay, these pine trees are up here. Okay, some of these are going to give us some resin in a little bit. I guess we just have to be a little prepared. But this 2-story watertight lodge is going to have to go. It is going to give us some pine resin back that we can use to build this house. Or, if I pause construction on that, then they can put some in here to start making paper, because we really need to make sure we have that. Again, lots to keep up with. We're doing our best. You just got to do what you got to do. There are pine trees over here that do have resin available, so what we can do is, you know, just kind of play a little bit of, I don't even know what the right word would be, resin tag or something, to where we can just grab resin from wherever we have it and then just, you know, deal with it. But let's go ahead and convince all of these things to be easily accessible. That solves that problem. Water can come back in here, and we're going to be in very good shape. Triple speed time. And I guess they're not going to take that pine resin over here until they absolutely have to, but getting paper done is going to be a very, very, very good head start. We've amassed a lot of materials in the Alchemist to start making tar when that time becomes available, and hopefully that will be very, very soon. Let's go ahead and pause that, unpause that. There's no reason for any beaver to come down here, so I hope they don't. Water is back. Take that to single speed. We're going to have an invasion here, unless I do the thing again. Don't worry, we're gonna deal with this. I just don't want my I don't want my whole thing taken over the brambles again. But that's looking fine. They were eradicated from up here. This is what it is. There's not really much else I can do about that. And I don't have any brambles over here that can take over anything, so I think we are looking pretty okay. Alright, now just bring the pine resin, if you would. We'll be in good shape. Water should be coming in shortly. I have 6 homeless beavers, regrettably, but we're going to deal with it. Going to be okay. Don't forget, the screw press is a house. Because of course it is. Now this can be built nice and easy, which does, of course, require pine resin. And then we can start making sunflower oil, which is another one of those things that has to be stored in a tank. This will hold, I think, I actually don't know. I don't know how much it'll hold in its storage. I think it's enough for us not to have to worry about a tank yet. But we do need to keep an eye on all of that. Alright, so let's get this coming back through here first. Very curious to see how much power we're going to get out of this. I don't think it's going to be a lot. But a whole 8. I see 10, I see 12. Do I see 14? No, I don't. Okay, well, it'll go faster. There we go. As long as we're just making something, I think there is a benefit to having it over here. Again, we will see what happens. So planting is working. We have some sunflowers growing. Hopefully they will not all be consumed as food before we have a chance to squeeze them. It looks like we're just waiting on a couple more pieces of pine resin that we do have access to here. We've got some more over here that we can grab. Just a very, very slow process. But we're making it work. These guys are a whole 18% of the way through, and I'm going to go ahead and get a couple more beavers in here to try to speed this up. Let's just go straight to 5. Yeah, it's almost 3 days. Almost 3 days. Just have the one here grabbing the coal. I don't think we need to have coal that much. I'm going to go ahead and pause this. I'm sure that's going to cause some sort of other problem somewhere else, but we will get to the point when everything can be done all at once. It's just not going to be right now. We're seriously only making 13. Well, I guess I should have put some more wheels here. You know, is what it is. We'll get there. Still making mushrooms. Probably still isn't enough, honestly. What can you do? Got to get some more beavers. They're still homeless. This obviously needs to be finished first, but all the pine resin is in. So I'm going to unpause this house. They can start putting more in there, and then... Oh, they did actually start making paper. Very good. And there's 15 resin in there, which is going to be enough for us to have our 5 sheets of paper that we have to have. No, I'm sorry, it's 10. Okay, so we're not quite there. But Mechanics Lodge is going to be attainable very soon. And also, you know, the recipe for the floodgate dam is going to require the paper as well. To actually research the blueprint. And then the building itself has to have 20 gears. We'll get there. We'll get there. It's all about laying the foundation. Getting stuff taken care of. Yeah, so man, I wish I could get more than 16 out of this. It's fine. If I go ahead and I disconnect this path here. In fact, just get rid of all of this so they aren't going to be tempted. Not that it really matters, but we have the logs, kind of, to go ahead and put another water wheel here, which is going to very slightly increase our power production. There's plenty of trees to be cut down, and now that we actually have everything else taken care of, I can just, you know, go ahead and do it. I'm not going to cut down these pine trees, but I'm going to cut down everything else over here. And I believe that's going to be fine. We also talked about putting a dam in here. Let's not forget that. But again, everything has a cost. 40... Yeah, actually, you know, we could probably do this. We could probably actually do this, but they can't reach it, which means we're going to have to put stairs, which cost more. So if I put this right here, it's going to retain water. If there is a bad tide, then it's going to retain bad water. But as long as things continue flowing, then the bad water will eventually be flushed out. But if it's going to be a super long bad tide, or a drought, especially a drought following whatever, and it's not clean, then we'll just have to get rid of it. I don't think that's really going to be that big of an issue. Again, they can't reach this yet, but we're making it known that we can do this. Needs 7 more pine resin. They got some here. No, they got rid of all that? Okay. There's a bunch up here I can't reach quite yet. Okay, well this right here, we don't have any berries. I guess I could use that beaver for something else. We're going to pause this. This one's already working on that. There's not really anything to cut here. Are these marked for cutting? No, they're not. Good. We should have some pine resin coming hopefully soon. Maybe not. Well, these trees are going to grow anyway, so that's going to be what it is for right now. We're just going to have pine trees here, and it's going to be fine. Just let them grow up. We're harvesting resin here. That's looking good. You know, we have berries here. Why are they not doing that? Why are you just sitting here, dude? There are berries to be harvested. The berries are calling your name, and you're not going to answer, for shame. It's definitely in range. Well, if you're not going to work, I'm going to pause your workplace. You can go do something else, because we have so much stuff we got to do. So much stuff we got to do. Still don't have pine resin. I guess that's fine. We do need them to be able to make paper. But we don't need to prioritize this quite so much if we're still not able to research the building that requires paper to be built in the first place. Yeah, because that's going to take some time. So I need to have another 68 science to even unlock this at all. And in that time, that it's going to take to make 68 science. We take a look at this. Yeah, so that's another 30... that's another, whatever, 36 cycles, 34 cycles, 33. At 2.5 hours each. That's most of a temperate cycle from actual work hours. Kimchi we're going to run out of unless we have... Okay, 95%, that's fine. That's going to go right into the library. Berries, really need to have some more berries. What's this guy complaining about? There's no scrap metal? You're right, there is no scrap metal. Okay, well, guess what? You get to go do something else now. Like, grab scrap metal from over here. We know that's available, so go ahead and make that happen. These poor guys are just, you know, chilling here, but we don't have that many vacancies to speak of. Oh, hey! I know we don't have the screw press axle yet, but we can go ahead and connect this. Which I suppose is going to be fine. That's going to be some more housing space. Yeah, so it'll store 100 sunflower oil. That's very good to start. We'll go ahead and get the sunflower seeds brought in here. Or I'm assuming this beaver will, eventually. Depending on how long that's going to take. Okay, these have been contaminated. I should have remembered that was going to be a thing. How are we doing here? We're only 40%? Seriously? Well, I guess I have been going kind of slow. Okay, what are we doing here? We still have crude saw blades, so that's good. We've got logs, we've got planks. Plank storage is very full. We need to have sawdust. This recipe is going to produce some sawdust, but not nearly enough. So we can either build stuff that requires planks, or we can build more storage for said planks. The primitive dam does not require planks. The building we cannot research yet, because we don't have the science, does require planks, so we know that's an option when we can get there. So for right now, I think it's probably smart for us to just, you know, have plenty of storage. So if I can find a better place, even if it's kind of far away, because, you know, that's just kind of how this goes. Build a big pile for some planks. Just so we have somewhere to put them. It's only 6 logs. We're going to get 180 storage out of it. That's good. Clay we're still working on. That's fine. So this is making... I mean, these two are only making 42 together, so I guess what we have going on here is fine. If this wasn't poison water, I'd send some more beavers down in here, but we already have 2 contaminated. We don't want to have too much more. 5 more pine resin here. How long until these? 20%, 17. Okay. That's the thing. These guys are just harvested. Hey, there's some right here that are easy to get to. They'll get it done. They'll get it done. Once again, just takes time. It's only day 2. We got these. Do we have any... We do. We have sunflower seeds being stored here. Screw press axle, once again, very, very, very slowly. But it is getting made. We have a homeless beaver because I haven't been able to build the rest of the housing yet, but it's getting very close. One more piece of pine resin, and that's going to be A-okay. If we really wanted to, we could go ahead and pause this, but we have our 4 pieces of paper. Again, we need to have 10. Well, we're going to need more than that, but to start what we're trying to do, we need to have 10. Alright, so that's taken care of, and we have more water storage. I probably should... Oh, no, they're all pumping. We got 1, 2, 3... 3 pumpers here, and I took this guy... No, he's still going. Okay. That's going to fill up just fine. I don't think we need to worry about it quite yet. But we might want to start looking into the water pump upgrade, which I believe we are now out of gears, which is what it is. We have to have the mechanics lodge to make more of those. But otherwise, this is a very, very advantageous thing for us to build soon. Not right now, but soon. Probably going to be okay. Okay, we have our 3rd here. How much power is this making now? 26. Very good. Again, can't do any... I love that sound so much. Can't do anything until we have this guy finished, but they are working. Hopefully, within the next day, that'll be done, and we'll be able to get some stuff going before we have the next drought. Unless it doesn't end up being a drought, then you know how that goes. Our water levels have not gone up as much as I would prefer, which kind of makes me think I need to build another water pump. But I'm not sure where would make sense. I don't want to build it here because it would be very hard to plug this up. But we also can. Remember that now you can put buildings on top of the crappy platforms. So I think the simplest way that's also going to benefit us in the future is going to be to just put another water pump here and then go ahead and just have them do whatever they can. This will give us 2 upgrades, which is going to be great. We'll just have to think of another solution to get this plugged up, which honestly is not going to be super, super hard. But remember, if this crappy platform is doing crappy platform things, then it's going to let some water in or out this way, and we're going to have to figure something else out. So to that end, they haven't actually finished any of these, right? Okay, they finished 1. So here's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to put a regular house down here. I am aware the entrance will be in Badwater when the time comes. So if we instead... Okay, no, I'm trying to reinvent the wheel here. Okay, I'm gonna have to replace this brown crappy platform with a levee for this to work. Remember, we're thinking long term here. If I can find 30 pine resin, I can make this a levee, which will allow me to put in the crappy platforms again. But what that's going to do is that's going to create watertight here. We already have watertight here. That then means I can... I know, the galaxy brain nonsense here. But that then means I can come in with one of these guys, which is going to still be completely watertight and going to give us an opportunity to just build some more platforms here to keep that isolated. The hardest part for this is going to be getting the pine resin that we're also using for other stuff. But if we accept that these guys here, who have 24 pine resin in stock and have already made 6 pieces of paper, can just say, you know what? Let's go do something else. If we pause this, we get the pine resin out of it, and then we're going to be in really, really, really good shape. I knew there was going to be a solution to this. You just kind of have to think outside the box a little bit. Just let them do what they got to do. We have the clay just about. It's not going to be that hard to get more of that, especially when I add some more beavers to it. Just temporarily. Because we really got to get those numbers up. They are, in fact, rookie numbers. And I think we're probably going to get some more pine resin pretty soon anyhow. And we do have our screw press axle ready to go. We're making sunflower oil, which is very exciting. Don't forget. Mechanic sludge, very, very soon, will be able to start being researched and built. And then the alchemist, now that it has, or will have sunflower oil, can actually make some tar, which can be stored here. And then we can unlock, probably after the mechanics lodge, we can unlock the medium tank and start storing a lot more water and other liquids. Everything has a purpose. Everything has a time. We will get there. Just bear with me. Trust the process. I am going to have them go ahead and make a couple more of these, or at least one more, because, you know, we're absolutely going to have more. Wow, look at that. They already filled up so much of this. We don't have the resources to keep pumping logs into here, so I'm going to deprioritize this. Maybe I can convince them to go somewhere else and do something. Is this lumberjacking? What do I have marked for cutting? Okay, I don't want to cut pine trees, but I do want to cut those. Okay, there's really not anything to cut down unless I build stairs. Which, you know, I probably should just research normal stairs, honestly, but I want to use my science for all that stuff. Can this reach? Okay, it cannot. Alright. Well, we have the ability to just, you know, put this somewhere else. So we'll do that. We'll do that. Get that out of there. Mark all of this mess for cutting. This guy, I guess, does have some space to go down here. That's fine. We can cut all these dead trees out for sure. Really would like to avoid having these brambles, you know, take over this entire thing. So I guess we do have to be kind of careful with that. So I will not cut this tree down. That will stay. That will stay. We'll just cut down as many of these as I think I can get away with without actually letting the brambles continue taking over. Let them do what they gotta do. Alright, they built this. Working on making the platforms again, we have to have some more trees cut down. That's what we were working on. Then I know we absolutely have to have another water pump, which we're, again, continuing to work on. It's day 7. What else can I cut down? These trees have not been cut down. They are not in range. That means that can go away. I'm not going to worry about that quite yet. I don't have access to over here. But I do technically have access over here. If I take... Nope, that's not the right one. If I take this... Let's go right the way across here, and I put in another one of these lumberjack flags. Then we have all of these dead pine trees. Can easily be cut. I don't think there's an access up top here yet, but there will be. Just trying to get as many trees as we can. Do what we can with what we got. That's what we do. Crude saw blades, we're relying on the coal, which we are now out of because I paused that. There's still crude saw blades here, but now we're, you know, kind of full up on planks. Which, I guess, a good problem to have. But that's also how we make sawdust without this being a thing. This is also consuming sawdust, but it's not. Okay. They haven't made a second one yet, have they? No. Sunflower oil going in here. We do have this here. We are storing tar. Remember that we have to have, for the medium tank, 20. We have 12. We're getting there. We are making progress, folks. Slowly. But we are making progress. We have a beaver in here. Looking good. I can triple speed through this. Progress on these is still waiting for more logs, but we'll have those very, very soon. Not really anything to worry about presently. Alright, day 8, no warning. That's good. That's what we want to see. As soon as we get our 100 science, I'm going to start making that mechanics lodge. Gonna have to make a couple of gears, and then I guess... Well, you know what? Actually, let's think about this. I did say I wanted to have the floodgate dam blueprints done, and that takes 12.5 days. Which means we have to be able to produce that. We need 25 tar for that. 50 paper, which it's going to take a while to get. So my gut was saying, hey, just go ahead and get started on this, but we're not going to be able to because there's multiple things we have to make first. But in the meantime, we can take the planks we have way too many of. We can start making gears. We can focus on starting to make pencil sets, which have to be produced in, I believe, the Handicrafter's Lodge. No. Okay. Which one is that then? There's so many different things that we have to be able to actually produce. I'm not sure if that's something that Tool Finder will help us with. Well, let's check. Pencil. It is the Handicrafter's Lodge. Wait, no, it's not. That consumes those. Or does it? Oh, no. I don't know what it is. I'm, like, blind to this exact thing here. Oh, of course it requires paper. What a pain. Alright. That's going... There's so much to do. So much to do. And it's going to be in stupid locations. I know. There's nothing I can do about it. We just have to do what we have to do. This building changed shape. This used to be 2x2. Huh. Okay, well that works as a levee as well. Too bad I don't want to put it down to the bad water. Or any water. Alright, well... not going to be able to get this in or out of here. But if I build like this, then I guess I could put some stuff behind this. That would be fine. I feel like I'm obligated to min-max space at every possible opportunity. Okay, well that needs to be making pencil sets. We can also make, you know, dynamite if we have the stuff for the recipe. What's the recipe for dynamite? Okay, absolutely not. That's going to take time, but we have to have Pencil sets, let's get this put there. Definitely want to take that out there. And pit tanks. All this stuff requires wood that I don't want to use like that, but probably it's not going to be a bad choice for us to have different stuff stored in different places. Even if it's just more water storage. Lots to do. Lots to do. Okay, we have 21 tar here. We have 12 tar here, so we have 33. Okay. Let's start making brain-boosting salts. Oh, I forgot. Okay. Strong alcohol. Alright, oh god, I gotta figure this out. Okay. Strong alcohol is a secondary component after you make all this other stuff. You have to have a distillery that can make strong alcohol 3 different ways. You can make it from wine, which we can't do yet. You can make it from chestnut beer, which I'm actually not sure what building makes that anymore. You can make it from half-fermented sake, which can be made in... Oh god, so much stuff. So much stuff. Because we have to have the brain-boosting salts to actually research the Floodgate Dam blueprint, because that's, I guess, what all these recipes require. Okay. What else? What else am I going to have to do this? So the Mechanics Lodge itself does not require it, but to actually make the... It's going to take 12.5 days to research this anyway, so the sooner we have this, the better. We already have the tar. Pencil sets, maybe soon. It's also incredibly likely I'm just trying to rush way too quickly through this, but I feel like we're really not going to have a chance without these floodgate dams. And also, you know, we have to have this stuff anyway, so brain-boosting salts, brain-boosting salts. The recipe, we already have bad water, we already have logs, it's just the strong alcohol. So man, I thought I had this all figured out. The distillery also is going to be a useful thing for us to have anyway, because, you know, that's how you make pollution resistance factor, which goes with our irrigation little lodge thing here. The recipe consumes 1/10 of that every 3.2 hours, so one of those is good for a day and a half. Day and a third. It's good to have this. I just hadn't remembered how much stuff had to go into doing this. Alright, well, I said we had to have it. So we need to at least start building this, and then we need to think about how to make the ingredients for the strong alcohol. It's 50 units of half-fermented sake, it's 50 units of chestnut beer, 20 units of wine. We're not going to have wine. We're not going to have wine for a while, because that has to have a degree. I'm pretty sure, unless this has changed. Well, we're gonna get this anyway. Okay, distillery. Where am I gonna put you? Where am I gonna put you? It's another building that kind of has to have a place to go. I mean, this is a space that exists. I guess it's fine. Why not? Just go ahead and put that there. Make sure that's set to whatever. But first, I got to figure out what building actually makes all that stuff. And I think... Oh, okay, the fermentation barrel or the fermentation house will work. Has this building been changed? Okay, first floor entrance. That means I don't want to put it down in the water anywhere. Or at least in the bad water. But if we want to make chestnut beer, we have to have chestnut trees. I do not see chestnut trees in our immediate starting area. If we want to have half-fermented sake, guess what? You gotta have rice. We don't have rice. But we talked about wanting to plant rice. So that can either be a fermentation house or it can be a fermentation barrel. The recipe seems to be exactly the same, so the fermentation house can function without workers. The fermentation barrel doesn't say it can, but also we've had one of these. I guess maybe it doesn't function without... Okay, whatever. I'm going to build the fermentation house. I'm just going to do it. We have space down in here that we can, you know, build in the water if we wanted to. We can also just put this up here. It doesn't have to be any particular place, but we do also have to have a farm for rice. And this is why, remember, this is why I wanted to put the primitive dam in place. We're going to have to have stairs to get down here anyway. The science to get to the stairs is 70 stairs. Or I can just, you know, use more logs. I got other stuff to cut down. This is also a really small place to be growing rice. If we get... Here's what we're going to have to do. We have to wait and see if we're getting a bad tide or a drought. If we're getting a bad tide, I'm not going to build the dam. If we're getting a drought, I am going to build the dam, and I'm going to build stuff. I'm going to start growing rice, because this is not being pumped. This, if a dam is in place, will retain water long enough through the entirety of a drought to make this viable. And we have 51 minutes on the recording. I have to absolutely speed this up. So, we're going to start building the dam. We're not going to finish it. But to make all of this happen, no matter what, all of this happen, we have to have stairs. So, if I'm careful how I put this in, I guess... maybe it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't matter. If I put brown log stairs here, that's about as centrally located as one can get. Get that there. We're going to have a farmhouse regardless. This is also a good place to grow stuff. Farmhouse here, can also go in the water as long as it doesn't get completely flooded. Right here is probably going to be fine. So much stuff to build. So much stuff to build. Okay. We don't have enough logs. Gotta cut down more trees. Gonna mark all of the trees in here that can be cut down. I don't want to waste time cutting down the brambles because that solves absolutely nothing. Because they're just going to keep growing and growing and growing, and there's nothing we can do about it. That one gets cut down. These are already being massively cut down. Alright. We got it at least on pause. It's day 9. We're probably going to get our drought or bad tide warning very soon. Again, we've been over this. If it's a drought, we're going to, move forward as planned. If it's a bad tide, we're going to say, you know what, forget it. But we also have to be prepared over here. Which is why I'm very glad we have pine resin in place. Gonna go ahead and put in... I suppose it probably might as well, let's compare recipes here. 15 pine resin, 40 logs for the liquid storage house. Regular house is... Oh, it takes planks also. Okay, well. We'll build that. I will put this here. Then that will also, you guessed it, have to have crappy platforms involved. So, plenty to do. This actually doesn't need to be finished. Right now, it's not actually going to be blocking anything, and our water storage is looking kind of okay. Yeah, I think now we just have to be a little smarter about how we're going about this. This guy here has got a little bit more to cut down. I guess that's fine. We have more coming over here that's going to get cut down. There's a little bit more here that has to get cut down. I did say that these stairs were absolutely imperative to be built, and they're going to continue with this as well. That should be in range. Alright, triple speed. Triple speed time. So much stuff still to do. So much stuff still to see. We're doing okay, though. Slow and steady wins the race. So I guess while they're working on that, I did ask you guys last episode how you felt about episode length. A lot of you guys seem to really want long episodes, but there's a few of you who said that you absolutely would not watch those, could not watch those. So I honestly don't know what to do, because I'd rather personally do what the most people are going to be happy with, but if people who are not going to be happy, if something happens, are going to be really unhappy about it, then I don't want to make those people mad. So we're gonna have to think about it, because these episodes do, I feel, work a lot better when they're between an hour and a half. You can always watch on, a little bit faster speed. You can pause and come back if you really want to, but I understand if you don't want to watch 90-minute episodes every single time. But at the end of the day, what the most people want, I think, is what I'm going to have to go with. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to try to not keep these super long. I'm going to try to keep them from getting super long. Better way to word it. But it might happen from time to time. Just want to put that out there. Of course, everything requires logs, but that's fine. Got to keep this here. Still working on that. I'm almost certain we're going to have a warning either the next day or the day after based on time here. Just got to keep this right at the edge. Right at the edge. Selfishly, I kind of hope we don't get a bad tide because I really want to start growing some rice so we can get some other stuff taken care of. You know how it goes. We have at least another 3 full days of nice, clean, beautiful water. The rice takes, got to keep our eyes on this, takes 8 days. So I don't want it to grow for 5 days and then die, because then it just has to get replanted, and it can only do that after everything gets nice and clean. Alright, so I see 38. So one more builder come over here, then we'll pause that. Looks like they're coming in. 39, 40, and hit pause. So that's good. Take this out of triple speed because I'm afraid I'm going to miss something here. Let's see. Food, you may have noticed, has gone down. We're still up 1,000, but almost all of it's braised cabbage. And the reason for that is because the mushrooms are not being made fast enough, because we don't have enough sawdust, and we don't have enough sawdust because we don't have anywhere to put all of our planks that we're making. And these guys are still making screw press axles because we have to have those. But now we do have one extra here. I guess that's fine. These guys are at 54%, so I kind of want to let them just finish this out, and then we'll change this to just pure sawdust. I think that's going to be fine. We'll just have to go with what we have to go with. If we end up having a bad tide, then we are going to have to prioritize building this in terms of materials. But if they can just cut down the right trees, then we can just have this almost done anyway, and that would be fine. I did pause that. That's fine. These trees, some of them are a little bit close, but most of them not really. See, they basically cut all this down. I don't have good access over here without building stairs, and the stairs are currently very expensive, and I don't have the science to even unlock normal stairs. So you hopefully can understand my position I'm in here. Berries. Easy thing we can do is just bring some beavers back over here to take care of this. Why did I not plant? Why did I not plant additional sunflowers over here? Should have done that a long time ago. These 2 beavers can do nothing, and they have been doing nothing because there is no coal. We have the tools, which is good. How are we looking here? Okay, we still have saw blades. Well, at the very least, I can, get more coal coming in, because we are going to have some. We're working on making pencil sets, which we have not made because guess what? We don't have any coal. I'm assuming that's what they're marking with. I don't remember that recipe taking coal before, but, could have been wrong. Absolutely could have been wrong. So I'm going to take the primitive ironworks offline. I'm going to put another beaver in here. In fact, I'm going to put more of those because, that's taken a super, super long time. How are we looking here? 33 tar. Got that. I mean, honestly, if we had the strong alcohol, we'd be in such good shape. But the distillery is still waiting. Oh, no, I forgot about the scrap metal. Oh, we're going to have more of that. We're absolutely going to have more of that. Do I have these guys? Oh, they're still... They can scavenge. That's fine. The builders are just kind of a little busy. They got plenty of stuff to think about. Plenty of stuff to think about. Just have to have more. See, I really don't want to get all these things released into the... these things being the brambles released into the wild here. So I guess I just have to keep cutting down the trees they can actually access. Yeah, that's about all I can do. That's basically it. Oh, nope, that one's holding brambles in. That's fine. So these trees, there's a couple more. Are those marked? They are. Okay, we can leave that alone. I guess this is as good as we can get. We just kind of have to wait. Alright, day 12. Really? Really? We still don't know? Alright. That's a little irritating, but it is what it is. Again, food still looks fine. We just have to have more mushrooms. This is still at 66%. Come on, man. You gotta finish this. You got to. We have so much to do. Okay, this one's out of trees to cut in range. There's a couple more here, but I'm not going to make them go all the way back just to do that. I mean, the water levels have been increasing, so that's, promising. It's looking okay. These trees can finally be cut down. I think we're going to catch up quite nicely here. Are we making pencil sets? Okay, we are. We have 5. How many do we have to have? 10 to research. We have to have 10. Okay, the brain boosting salts are another thing entirely. We've already been over that. They have to have the strong alcohol, and the distillery has to have scrap metal. Alright. I really can't spare any more beavers. Are you serious? Day 13, we still don't have anything? Man, now we almost had enough time to just grow rice anyway. It's actually a little irritating, but whatever. Okay, what are they building? What are they building if it's not any of this? What are we doing? What are we doing? Oh, okay, they're building this. Taking scrap metal out of the scrap metal thing. Alright, that's understandable. This is important. Let's make a concerted effort to search for chestnut trees. I don't think we're going to find any. I haven't seen a single one this entire playthrough. Like, these are all pines and everblossoms. Wait a second. We have a forester. I could have been planting them the entire time. Yeah, okay. I got no response to that. Absolutely no response. I'm going to take these berry bushes out. We're going to plant chestnut trees here. I absolutely should have done it earlier. I know. It's going to be okay. In a mere 32 days, we will have chestnuts. We could do that. Oh, the rice is still going to be faster, though. Okay, now they got logs going into that. They really should be building this first. Really should be building this first. All right, day 14. What do we got? Are you serious? Come on, man. Yeah, at this point, if we would have just started, we would already have rice by the time we had anything. But how was I supposed to know? Anyway. Well, they got logs for the half-fermented sake. They got... I don't think we can really do too much of anything else with any of these other things. It's still going to be faster to get rice, even if we have a bad tide. Oh man, I'm gonna feel that one for a while. Well, at least we have chestnut trees. These marked for cutting. No, that's good, but these are all going to be chestnuts right here. I'm going to leave some of these blueberries in place. I should have had these. Should have had these be chestnuts, but I wanted it to be in range of... Oh, maybe I still can. Well, some of these at least. They're not marked for cutting. Okay. I think I can take these for chestnut trees also. We'll get there. Oh, they built this already. Crap. Well. Oh, okay. That works, but at the same time, I need water to go in here still. All right. Well, I'm glad we didn't build this. I know it's kind of anticlimactic, but I'm glad we didn't build that. We can still have the farmhouse because that's going to be convenient, you know, for other purposes as well. I just wish they hadn't built it, because I'm going to have to get rid of this. I got to get rid of it. Because we need to have water coming in here. And then, of course, we are going to have to build it. It still has to exist. But, you know how it goes. Let's just build this water pump instead. We've got 2.5 days to get everything else taken care of. We do still have to have water. We're doing the best we can. I got so many incapacitated beavers. All these injuries, and I've been trying to save my science for so long. Let's see, it just says injured, which, yeah, but they have to have the thing we're trying to make. See, otherwise there's no point in doing it. Alright, well. Basic balm, we don't have either. Alright. Well. Again, nobody's perfect. Certainly not me. So let's just grab... Get out of here. Put all those things in that one spot. Grab your junk out of here. And then we're going to have to put this back in a little bit closer. See, this is why I want the floodgate dams. The floodgate dam can go in this exact same spot, so like, don't worry, it's going to be all right. Just have to prepare for what we have to prepare for. But we got to do something about these injuries, and it's not going to get better until we have the half-fermented sake. You know how this goes. You know how it goes. Everything begets everything else begets something else. It's an endless cycle of suffering. That's the Waterbeavers' experience. I did say it was going to be just a regular 2-story watertight lodge. Well, you know how it goes. Just got to make sure they don't build that until the last possible moment. Farmhouse, this is all going to be irrelevant anyway, so that can be paused. We have 30 pencil sets. Very nice. Is there anything else that's going to be more useful? I don't think we can really do anything with the toys, but that is a nice bonus. Alright, Handicrafter's Lodge. Oh yeah, wooden toys are really cheap. Those are really, really cheap. And that is a, I think, just a universal benefit. Each beaver gets one of these, and I think they hold on to it till they die, and then you can also use that on the farmhouse upgrades. What happened to the nerdy attic? Oh, that's in the well-being, isn't it? Yes, okay. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch this over to the wooden toys. Hopefully that, you know, gives our beavers a little bit of a well-being bonus without actually consuming too much. Plus the pencil sets were consuming coal, which is needed to produce other stuff. Like more tools that we're going to need. Strong alcohol again. Gonna have to wait. Gonna have to wait. But let's just come back and check on this here. We need logs. We do not have logs. How long is it going to be till we get logs? Am I going to have to cut down trees I didn't want to cut down? I guess that's the question that needs to be answered here. So we got 1.5 days. That's still a decent amount of time, but I need to have trees cut down. I don't want to. Well, okay. These aren't going to be cut down, so I'm not even going to need to have a tapper's flag over here. Let's just let's just cut down the pine trees. We're going to have to deal with it. Just going to have to leave it as one does. And they can reach all this, right? Yeah, they can. As long as they're not having to cut down all this nonsense. I can't believe I still have that going. Well, I also can. You know how this goes. Yep, they got to take care of that. Is anyone hiding logs that I can take back? Why can't... There we go. Oh, there are 13 logs here. How about we pause this? Builders can come grab the logs. There we go. And then we can re-unpause it. Bring these things over here. You know, not at night, because of course they're not going to bring it over at night. Oh, they actually are. Okay. Then, when this gets to the 10, we can pause it, and then unpause it at the exact right time. Don't you love it? When a plan comes together? Well, at any rate, this is going to be, I guess, the best possible place to end the episode. I just reflectively pushed pause there. Reflexively pushed pause, not reflectively. I'm not a reflector. Alright. That's going to stay paused for a little while longer. I don't want this to go earlier than it has to. Okay, these guys are deprioritized. That's deprioritized. This is about to be... I know it's only 600. This is already deprioritized. This is not deprioritized. I don't want to suck all the stuff... Well, whatever. Build it. Just build it. We have half a day. It's going to be alright. Just get it done. Just get it done. Oh, now they don't want to do it. Alright, come on. What do you mean you can't get the materials? Alright, no. We're not playing that game. I know you can get materials. Pause the mushroom grower. 24-hour workday until everybody just finishes this. And then you can all go to sleep. Come on. I know you can find logs. I know you can do it. Just finish this building. There you go. Good job. Now you can go to bed. Told you you could do that. Okay. So, now this has been bad tide proofed. This will continue to produce power for our sunflower oil, which is now full. It would be to our advantage to just continue stockpiling this. So I know we don't have the logs really to do this, but we are going to need to have more storage. So is there anywhere? I mean, I guess scavenger flag can stay there. Yeah, we just have to have storage for this stuff. I'll just make this for sunflower oil. I know it's not the most beautiful thing you've ever seen, but this way she goes. At least we're making some pretty good progress, even if it is a little bit jumping around. But we can be pretty happy with what things are turning out to look like here. We got pine trees. Oh, you know what? I can cut these down. That was exactly why I was doing this. Exactly why I was doing that. So we'll grab those. I'm sure that's something I will have to be reminded of for next time. But now we've done all we can. We have 16 incapacitated. No, 10 incapacitated, 16 vacancies. We got our work cut out for us to try and solve some of these problems, and it is not going to be a quick process. Why are we lagging on brain-stimulating mushrooms? I thought for sure... Ah, it's the sawdust. Okay, 2-day bad tide. That'll be fine. But we're going to pick up on that next episode. I believe next episode for this is going to be Monday. Currently, still trying to figure out what our release schedule is going to end up looking like as we move forward. But I'm going to try my best to have at least 2 episodes of this a week. And then the update 7 with the Iron Teeth, I'm going to try to keep at about 3 per week. And we do still have the Folktales playthrough as well that I don't want to neglect. I want to send that one off properly. So it's just a little bit of juggling we have to do because we have 3 series going on at once that everyone's seeming to enjoy. So appreciate your patience. I appreciate you watching these videos in the first place. Very, very, very fun getting to play all these things, and I really appreciate the support. Beard boosters as well, you already know, make it possible for me to continue doing videos daily and take care of a whole lot of other stuff without, you know, taking time away from YouTube to go and do quote-unquote real adult things like a job that is not making videos on the internet for people to watch. But I really appreciate the support. I legitimately cannot do it without you, and I'm very happy we get to spend this time together and just focus on playing the Beaver game and having a fun time, because you know the world needs more positive stuff. So whatever it is you're doing with the rest of your day, stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you back again soon for more Beaver fun. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.